Hello and welcome back to Back Corner Comics. Today we are going to be discussing Pleasure Beach by Josh Pettinger. This is the follow up to his amazing Tedward, which last year came out in a beautiful, wonderful hardcover by Fantagraphics, which collected his previously self published Tedward stories. And he seems to be taking a similar route here with Pleasure Beach, but with this is a continuous storyline. There doesn't seem to be this is its own story. This is another story. No, this is meant, it seems like it's meant to be read as a graphic novel when all of it is released. I do not know how many issues he's working on, but it seems to be one a year, if not two a year. And yeah, so again, this is self published. It is not nowhere near finished, I don't think. And the way that I like to look at this is if you're a gamer, you spend $20 on an early access game, you play an early version of it, and you're able to, play it until it gets finished. But here, you are buying every, issue that comes out of Pleasure Beach that Josh Pettinger puts out. Now, the caveat to that is these do feel like they're worth the money. The MSRP for them is $10, and they do feel like a complete package. And we'll look through them. I kind of just want to really look through the first issue. I don't want to spoil anything too much, but as a product, I'll show you issue two. This is issue one right here. As you can tell, it's a very fun cover. Josh Pettinger is a great artist who kind of is able to play around with the surreal and the funny too. That looks so creepy. And then this is issue two. And I don't know if you can tell right away, but when I say it feels like a complete package, I do really mean that. Here's a little catch up to issue one if you happen to pick up issue two. He goes into some detail here of how he does the art and what he uses to accomplish the art within here. And yeah, that's issue two. So let's look at issue one. I'm not going to show too much of issue one. I don't want to spoil anything. But here you go. Pleasure Beach. The Better Business Bureau kind of does play a part in this. There is this central mystery of, what is Pleasure Beach? What is the function of Pleasure Beach? And you do see bits and pieces of that. The main character, Beryl, feels like, a really fleshed out young woman who's come back to her hometown. And I think there's going to be a bit of solving a mystery from her perspective. There is some nudity in here, some strangeness, as you can tell right there. Ferry Park is the name of the city or the little town that she grew up in. There is this funny moment here where the bus crashes and Beryl seems to be the only one who gets away scot-free. This guy is so interesting. Josh Pettinger does an amazing job at writing comedy, and this is no different than the comedy that you'd find in Tedward. The bus driver tells the old lady to put the cigarette out, so she flicks it at the back of his neck, you know, which I think causes the accident here. But you can imagine this being in like an animated series where you get this freeze frame of the main character making a derpy face. I do think eventually Adult Swim or HBO is going to reach out to Josh Pettinger to do a cartoon of one of his comics. I don't know if he would do that, but I do see that easily happening at some point. Here is Beryl being a model. She's looking for her mother, and that seems to be something that is going to be explored more later on. So earlier when I said, this is meant to, be read as a graphic novel, I'll be honest, these are not satisfactory issues. There is a continuing storyline when you finish it. So you really have to think about this as supporting Josh and the endeavors of creating Pleasure Beach, which I am more than willing to do. It's $10 per issue plus shipping, and you order it from his big cartel. I will link it down below in the description. You get this great interaction here with a girl that Beryl went to school with, and she's jealous of Beryl because, of course, Beryl made it out of the town, and she's this, great model who gets a lot of work, as you can tell by the magazine shots and stuff like that. This is so weird and abstract and Lynchian. This dude's like missing legs. He has his limbs dipped in some sort of murky liquid there. There is some drama that unfolds. Now, one of the things that Josh does so well, and it was present within Tedward, is he draws these like suburban scenes so well. You know, David Lynch referred to Blue Velvet as a neighborhood film, and I think Josh Pettinger does a really good job at making neighborhood comics. He has this amazing ability to capture the rooftops and the tree lines. It really does feel alive to a certain extent, and it really elevates the work to me. And I'm a huge fan of his stuff. Here you have Tedward. Always a Tedward fan. I'm gonna love Tedward. I hope one day Tedward does come back. But Pleasure Beach is an amazing follow up. It is not what you would expect um, for him to follow up with a very weird, abstract, long form narrative that's going to take a few years to possibly finish. So kudos to Josh for dipping in the deep end. I don't know if you can dip in the deep end. Maybe he jumped into the deep end. Um, but they feel like this story feels like it's headed in a very great direction. I do think it is going to be a big title once it's all collected. And yeah, if you do decide to pick these up, remember, keep in mind, these are not singular stories. This is one long narrative. And this is Pleasure Beach. And, issue one, Hot Summer Mega Depression. Very, very, very good. I'm excited for issue three whenever that gets made. I believe that you can follow along on the individual pages as Josh progresses through them over on his Patreon. If I can find the link to that, that will be linked below as well. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Let me know if you've read Tedward or if you're interested in Pleasure Beach. I would like to know. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.